Hello there, it's Leanne. Welcome to my office. Some of you have been here before. Some of you may know that this is my morning commute. Some of you who can hear the hawk in the background will recognize how much nicer that sound is than some screeching tires or honking. And you can also hopefully understand that because I've made this change in my life, I have so much less stress in my life. I found a way to maintain my standard of living while increasing my free time, doing the work that I want to do according to my schedule in my locations with the products that I want to focus on, and to work with the people that I want to work with. So if you're at a place in your career where you're not getting that kind of satisfaction from your workday, and yet you're making money and are sort of staying in this unfulfilling role because you don't want to lose the money, that can be a pretty compelling argument to continue to do what you've always done. But you know, that's the definition of insanity. If you continue to do what you've always done, you always get what you always got. And when I was doing it the other way, I didn't get this. I didn't work here. I didn't feel like this every morning. Right now, I'm at work. I'm taking care of my health, which as I grow older becomes increasingly more important to me. But it's also a question of maintaining my mental health, my spiritual and emotional health, because slaving away in a role for 40 hours, 60 hours, 80, 120 hours a week, however many hours I was working, even if I was getting paid for every hour that I was working, just wasn't doing it for me. It felt like a cage. It felt like a jail that I had put myself into, a jail that kept me away from the things that I wanted to do, away from the people I loved, and away from myself even, because I wasn't being my true self when I was at work. I was being what they expected. I was performing for my colleagues in a role that had been given to me and that I had accepted, which meant that my personal opinions, had to take a back seat, and it meant that I had to work with people that I didn't know, maybe didn't even like. So my feelings had to just pretty much disappear, and I had to become somebody who gets along with everybody no matter what. And a lot of women are pretty good at that, but that doesn't mean that we really like it. A lot of men can have that skill too, being conciliatory, being firm, but sort of sycophantic. You call it whatever you want, but if you were in a mode or an MO or a role or any kind of situation where you were feeling less than authentic in exchange for money, that is a serious change in our sort of biological makeup. Yeah, because I think we're meant to be authentic. We're meant to be who we are. We're meant to speak our truth while not being necessarily controversial or inflammatory. I think we just want to be authentic. And sometimes you can't do that because it puts you at risk. It's it's not popular, it's not the company line, you're not towing the line, you're not a company man or woman. You need to just get along. Just figure it out, and can't we all just get along? And that's great, because that's a good skill to have for certain parts of your life. But it doesn't have to always be the majority of your life, and it doesn't always have to be something that you have to do in order to make a living. Now, that takes a certain amount of wherewithal to come to that realization. But in some cases, you end up there by default, simply because you're downright fed up. You're just so sick of doing this day after day, month after month, year after year. You're like, where is my time? When is it going to be my agenda, my priorities, my interests, my team, my family, my schedule? Those are the things we give up in exchange for a big, fat corporate paycheck and a whole bunch of benefits. Now, if you were to create a life of your own that allowed you to build all of those benefits and income streams, would you also want to build in all that other stuff? Or would you want freedom and authenticity instead? Would you prefer that? I mean, some people feel really comfortable with the status quo because they don't have a lot of opinions of their own. But most people who have an independent streak or some kind of an entrepreneurial nature are really straining against the traces when it comes down to towing that line. I mean, we can be great team players, and we can love the community in our office, and we can love our colleagues. But when it comes time to put our own personalities away and just be who we're expected to be, over years and years, that can really take a toll. And if you're like me, my time was just ticking by, and I was tired of not being my authentic self. It got so bad that I didn't even know who my authentic self was. Sometimes it takes something really huge to shake you up, a divorce, or you get fired, or some kind of tragedy, a death, I don't know. And then you really start to think about these things. But you don't have to experience something really tragic like that to start asking some of these hard questions about what's your higher purpose. Do you have to give up all your income just to make an authentic work life? And I'm here to tell you that you do not. I found a way. If you want to know more about what I found and the people I've been working with, it's an independent kind of work, meaning I do it mostly on my own and at my own pace. But I have a group of mentors that I can work with who are willing to teach me. And I'm willing to trade some of that income that I have for this education, for this access to these tools, so that I don't have to struggle and figure it all out by myself and hunt and peck and trial and error. Because honestly, as kind of a professional at a more mature age, I have the resources to spend. And I have more resources than I have time. So I kind of want to cut to the chase. Is this an overnight sensation? Is this a get-rich-quick scheme? Is this a wild hair? No. This is some hard work. But in that big, wide world wide web, that WWW that's out there, there's so much information that you can get overwhelmed. I wanted a fast track. I had the resources. I found it. I made the change. I have no regrets. If you're kind of like me, if anything of what I'm saying is resonating with you, then click this link, whatever, wherever it is. Click it, get a free 7-day video series, find out a little bit more about what I'm talking about, take charge, change your life, grow your life, change your commute, get a new office. I'll see you on the other side.